Greetings and good morning, Milwaukee. Welcome to Community Heartbeat. Community Heartbeat is presented by Outreach Community Centers and it is health centers. And it's not just a show, it's a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. I am your host, Ebony Solly, and I'm excited for this episode. We have Men's Health Month. So if you listened in a couple weeks back, we were talking all things men's health and wellness. And since I'm not a man, I got a couple guests coming in at the top of the next hour to talk health with me. One is from Outreach, and then we've got a community staple who's been here working and serving for many, many years. So I'm excited to share with them. This is also the halfway point of the year. So, hey, thank y'all for welcoming Outreach Community Health Centers to the airwaves. And we hope that we've been able to provide some quality information for you to use and feel better. So, just a quick review of where we've been throughout the year. We've talked, our intro show was about just the services that are offered at Outreach Community Health Centers, which provides primary care, behavioral health services, dental, community services, and a pharmacy. Also, the following month after that, we talked heart health and what you need to do to keep your heart healthy. We talked nutrition and women's health, bringing healthy babies into the world, and then mental health and where we fall in not only adult mental health, but youth mental health. And so today we're talking men's health. And if I can just start with like a love letter to the men in my life. The reason we nag all of you all is because we love you, because we care. We want you to be healthy and we want you to be here. So talk back to me, Milwaukee, this morning. If you've got a man in your life that you had to just nudge to get checked in, get checked out, 414-444-5250 is the number to chat with me this morning. So first off, the dads. This month we celebrated Father's Day. Those who act as father figures, those who may have lost their fathers, and those who are standing in those father roles. We love you. So we want you to go to the doctor at least once a year, at the very, very minimum once a year. And don't let funding, don't let affordability be the reason that you don't go in. We talked briefly about last month or this month about which test to get. So we'll talk a little bit about that again, just to make sure you know what to be asking for and advocating for your health. So for those dads who are raising daughters, especially, your daddy's girls need you. So we need you to do all the positive things and continue being a role model. To the brothers and cousins, you have no idea how impactful you are. The things that you will teach this world, the positive influences you have. And listen, we know it's not without challenges, and we'll get into the debate and how that relates to health and wellness. But we know the challenges that you're facing, our cousins, our brothers. And so we hold you up, but we have expectations of you. We want you to be well. We want you to be healthy. We want you to go in and get checked out. And to our husbands, listen, although we may nag, although we may call you out and probably tap dance on that last nerve, it's because we have families and legacies to build. So we're nagging you for a quality purpose. So to all of the men in the world, dads, husbands, brothers, cousins, know that we love you, know that we're lifting you up, and we want you to be healthy and continue to be well. That's not only in physical, in mental, emotional, and spiritual health. So Community Heartbeat is meant to bring these hot topics together. So I got a confession. I did not watch the debate last night, but I did get the notes and I did watch the clips. And I'm disappointed, y'all. I'm disappointed that this is where we have found ourselves. I'm disappointed that the conversation is no longer about governing people. It's about the pot shots and the quick clips of how low can you go, turn to quality conversations that are moving populations forward. I like to say I don't really have time for nonsense, and I really don't entertain it often. Bickering is not helpful. going back and forth, and it's very childish. And so the fact that we are paying politicians out of our tax money, we are encouraging them through our private donations, and this is what we have arrived to. It's really disappointing. It's disgusting. And I think we have to change it all. We cannot continue in this pattern. And for those of you that may have forgotten history, empires can fall. And so if you think that the United States is so very strong that it is not in a position where it can be overtaken by other governments, it can be overtaken by other countries, you are woefully and wholly inaccurate. So some of the conversations that came up last night in the debate as they relate to health, Medicare and drug pricing, reproductive rights obviously are at the forefront. And I'm curious, because it is Men's Health Month, and reproductive rights seems to be such a hot button topic, and it's clearly a concern for everyone, whether they are in the reproductive stages, whether they have the ability to carry a child to term, whether that's their gender can carry a baby to term. They seem to have a lot of opinion. So when it comes to things like reproductive rights and as it aligns to men's health, I'm curious as to why the conversation around vasectomies is not more prominent. You would think that if people are very concerned about people having children, unwanted pregnancies, birth control access, you think that the ability, the possibility, the availability of things like vasectomies to reduce pregnancy will be more of a conversation. And I just haven't heard it. If you have a reason why that, or why that hasn't been a topic of conversation, give me a buzz, 414-444-5250. I would think that that's a conversation that should also be had at the healthcare level. So you should be having that conversation with your doctors. I get it. Not everyone wants to have children. Not everyone wants to build those families. And that's totally fine. But then take those steps to make sure that the onus is not only on women to uphold that component. You've also got drug pricing. So I know the conversation around the weight loss drugs and the prices thereof have been topics of conversation. So drug pricing came up last night during the debate. For our pharmacies, if you haven't been watching the news, Walgreens put out a statement yesterday that they're closing up to 8,000 additional pharmacies throughout the country. So when we look at drug pricing, when we look at the availability of life-saving drugs, and then we look at the availability of pharmacies in our neighborhoods, we are headed towards a serious problem. Now, Outreach Community Health Centers does have a fully functioning pharmacy. We do have the 340B pricing. So that means many of the prescriptions that are available, not only prescriptions, but over-the-counter medications, are significantly reduced in cost to patients and to the public. So our pharmacy is not only for patients, it is open to the public. But we have some serious concerns that are coming down. So we need to figure out how to place more pharmacies. As we've got an aging population, we're going to need medications no matter how you slice it. So I challenge you all to listen to what people are saying. Listen to what these politicians are sharing with you, because they're telling you exactly what they're going to do. And I argue often about with some friends on the other side of the aisle about how politicians move forward. And one of the things they always shoot back is Republicans will tell you exactly what they're going to do, and then they're going to do it. So when they say they're going to cut pharmacies, when they're going to cut funding allocations, when they say they're going to reduce spending in categories that matter to us, they mean it. And so that means reducing funding for the things that we care about. And they do it. And then that's when we begin the uproar, is after they've taken the things away. You look at the state funding and how the state is treating Milwaukee with taxes. That's exactly what they said they were going to do. And now they're doing it. And so we need to be more engaged in the process before things start to be cut, before and listen to people as they're running. Not only the commercials. I know that's the easy thing to do is just listen to what the commercial, but go to their websites and look at what the literature is saying. Look at what the promises being given, and take a look at how those things are connected. Our future is at stake. Of course, Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. And I cannot for the life of me figure out how, in a country where we are founded on principles of freedom and we're founded on principles of taking care of each other, how taking care of health of others who may not be able to afford it, I don't understand why that's a hot button issue. I do not understand why these are controversial topics. If someone cannot afford health care, somewhere, somehow, that person is plugged into our entire society, and their sickness and lack of wellness will affect us, period. And so it's up to all of us to make sure that all of us are healthy so that our system continues on and continues forward. So again, this show has been dedicated to bringing the community together, getting us to think about these controversial topics and showing up. The other part is showing up. With everything that we've seen over the course of the past, I would say 8 years, 12 years, no one should have to beg you to come out to vote. Let me repeat that. No one should have to beg you to come out to vote. It should be on the top of your list for health, for wellness, for the betterment of our community, for the funding of the things that we all need and appreciate. No one should have to beg you to come out and vote. So let me say it now. Get up, get out, and vote. Now, June Health Month for men. It's time to focus on these health checkups. It's time to check on specialized care so that we can get you to better health. Now, earlier in the month, we talked about some of the screenings that you need. And I just want to run those down again so that I can make sure I'm doing my due diligence and my duty to bring you up to where you need to be, or to pat you on the back to say congratulations for doing the right things. So some of the screenings that you need: physical exam. Okay, so that's off the top. You need to be having that every year if you're over 50, every 2 years if you're 40 to 49, and every 3 years if you're 20 to 39. You got to get your blood pressure checked. It's way too easy to do that now. If you have a smartphone, pop into one of those pharmacies and you can get a blood pressure cuff to connect to your phone to be able to take your blood pressure and monitor that throughout the course of the month, the year. You also should be checking, getting TB skin tests, getting blood tests, getting tetanus boosters, getting your colorectal health check. Now, I know that's not the most fun, but I challenge you, and I like to make things culturally relevant. So I challenge you to think about Chadwick Boseman. I cannot believe we lost Black Panther among his other amazing roles. So let me not box him into one individual piece, but a great mind, a brilliant talent, lost too soon, in my opinion, lost too soon because of a health reason. So for that, I challenge you again to get checked out, make sure everything is on the up and up. 414-444-5250 is the number. We are talking men's health and the tests that you need to be getting taken. Let me pop back to the debate for just a second. And I my husband woke up this morning and he's chuckling about the debate. He's replaying the clips and he's like, this is what we've come down to. And I got frustrated, y'all. I got to be honest. I'm like, this is not a joke. This is not a game. Like, this is real life. These are real things. Like, these have real implications. This is more than a political showcase. And for myself, I look at politics has become a game. Politics has become the punchline. But these are people's lives. So the funding that is coming down affects us greatly. So he's playing this clip and he's like, oh, this man doesn't know what he's saying. And this man is hidden below the belt. And so mental health and wellness for me is never a joke. It's never funny. Declining mental health is not a punchline in my book. And it needs to be something that we look at and take very seriously. Now I won't get all the way up on my soapbox this morning, but when you have leaders that are not cognitively well, who are making decisions for our health, we need leadership and we need it now. This literally cannot wait. The other side, the demagogue, the hate spewing, is also not a good look. And so for me, the cognitive challenge on that side is people are not reasoning. People are not challenging what they're hearing. They're taking it at face value, rolling with it. And so in this conversation this morning that I was having with my husband, I'm like, people are taking the hate spewed words, and these have real implications. So I shared with him, look, you can have someone that opens fire because they've heard and been trained and have been persuaded to carry out violence. If January 6th taught us nothing, is that people are listening and people are paying attention and they're willing to act on that. So I think we find ourselves in a position where it's time to make some hard decisions. It's time to make some adult decisions because the health of ourselves and the health of our nation is at stake. So in our next hour, we'll pick back up with the debate and how the implications affect pharmacy prices and the closing of additional Walgreens locations throughout the country, how that'll impact us health and wellness. And then we'll lighten it up. I won't hit you too hard on this Friday, last Friday of Men's Health Month. In our second hour, we've got some amazing folks coming into the studio. You are listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. It's not just a show, it's a movement. We'll be right back. not just a show, a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness. Our first guest is in the studio with me this morning as we talk June Men's Health Month. And he is actually the reason that I am at Outreach Community Health Centers. So, good morning and welcome to Don Cohen.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. So, Don, I know you. I feel like most of Milwaukee knows you. But for those like 3 or 4 people in the city that don't know you, who are you? And tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I retired from Landmark Credit Union after 15 years working with all the community groups. And then I got bored. And a year ago, I started at Outreach Community Health Center as their fund development manager. So I'm back at it again, talking to all my friends from before and a lot of new ones.
Yes. And so you have been dedicated to this community forever, ever, as I like to say. What sparks that passion and dedication to working with the community?
I don't know. I guess I just see the need, and when something happens, like when I was doing mortgages and things like that, and helping people get their first home, and then, 20 years later, somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, you helped me get my first home." I mean that there's nothing better than that. And with this, I can now hope that people will come into the clinic because we have a very good clinic. I can attest to that because they saved my life.
And we got to get into that because
Yeah.
that story is amazing, just in how it's all connected.
Well, 3 years ago, I had gotten COVID. That was before the vaccines came out, and I was fine. I had no problems. But then about a month or two later, I was going for a walk, and I found myself I couldn't breathe. After about a block, I'd have to stop and catch my breath, and I was having troubles. And I was set up to go for my annual physical anyway, so I just figured I'd wait, and it was one of the big box groups, and I had gone in, and even though I was on the board of outreach at the time, but I had gone in for my physical, and the doctor wasn't there that day, and they said I couldn't get in for 2 months. I said, no, that's not going to work. I was in trouble, and I I called outreach. I said, well, let me see what we can do over at outreach. So I talked to them. They set up an appointment right away. I got in within a couple of days, and they diagnosed some problems that I had, and I did a lot more tests. And then, long story short, it ended up with a triple bypass 3 years ago. So
because you went to outreach because the other
outreach.
doctor wasn't there.
Right.
So it's life saving. I know we've been talking this month. As men's health is, a lot of times the woman in your life nagging, whether it's mom, daughter, sister, cousin.
Every woman in my life nags me,
But
including
we
you.
have to, right? But we have to. I do nag down about everything. And that's so I like to joke we have this Tom and Jerry relationship. We just argue like a little ball of fun, ball of fun. But these health implications and skipping those appointments or just not checking in regularly can have serious complications. And I can't imagine my life without you, Don, even though sometimes you tap dance on that nerve. So I'm glad you're here. And that's thanks to outreach.
Well, and I had met you because of my work that I had done before. I was on the NAACP board as a treasurer. That's when James Hall was the president, and then you had done some work with Jasmine and some others on the groups. And I remembered your work. So when our marketing person retired last year, I said, "Let me see if I can get a hold of Ebony." And we did, and his history.
Yeah, it's really a labor of love. And I think someone asked me yesterday, why are you at outreach and do you like it there? And I think it's the connecting of the resources that are in our community with the people who actually need them. And I've never lost that. That's always been a passion of mine, for sure.
Yeah, there's such a need out there. And we have this mobile unit, which I love, and we're not getting enough use out of it. And that's why I've been pushing a lot of different organizations to try to come up with the funding to get that thing on the road a lot more. But now we're in the process of starting with Milwaukee Medical College and or Medical College of Milwaukee, and we're going to have this residency program where we're going to have over 20 residents as on staff. So now we will be able to man the mobile unit, and we will have a lot more people. They're just finishing up the rehab on the building right now. So a lot of exciting things.
Yeah. So let's touch on all of these kind of individually. The mobile health unit, it is a fully functioning exam room on wheels.
Exactly.
Right now, I know it goes to one of the methadone clinics. It goes to I want to say Pathfinders, but I may have that name mixed up. But it's out in the community at very limited locations.
Yes.
So to get that mobile unit out, you're saying that we need additional funding
Yes.
from the community.
Well, and we need additional doctors because we just don't have the staff that we can't take away from the clinic, like we'd like to, because they need to take care of patients at the clinic.
Mhm.
So now with the new doctors coming in, we will have the staff
To do that.
to do that, and we've hired someone now to work just on the mobile unit and the school programs.
So we're in two schools. We're in Carmen location on 70. I can see it, 70th and
I forgot.
the street. Okay. I know, I'll look it up during the break to get you the exact address, but we have a fully functioning clinic inside of Carmen School as well as inside of HAPA, the Hmong
Right.
American Peace
And
Academy.
that's on 84th and Hampton.
So it's really taking these, removing the barriers, as I like to say. So we get a lot of excuses. I don't have time. I can't shuffle all the kids to go. Now we're putting these resources right into the schools and right on the street. But you mentioned the health, the residency program. So coming up in like a week, we have 14 new physicians that are joining outreach. And these are physicians that are currently in their residency program. What that means is that they're already doctors. So that's the first question. People are like, I don't want to be, I don't want anyone testing on me. And these are already physicians. What they are required to do, though, to get additional licensing and credentialing is they have to study a specialty. And so these particular physicians are studying family medicine within our community. So they are coming to learn about some of the conditions that affect our communities, but some of that bedside manner, you can't approach every patient the same. So they're coming in to learn additional moments for interacting with our community. But it puts 14 new doctors in our building, which, like you said, Don, that's huge.
Oh, it's massive.
It's
And
huge.
I saw them walking around the other day, and I just, oh my God, I'm getting older. They're getting younger.
That is the shock, right? It is.
But
the
I
shock.
did ask them if they can cook because I need an extra chef for the 27th for our health fair, because I'm going to be cooking hamburgers and hot dogs.
Yeah. And speaking of, listen, we have a full nutritionist on our team, Kelsey. So shout out to Kelsey. Her meals are delicious. She put this thing together. We're working on a video for the clinic to share what good work we're doing. And she's mixing all this stuff, just cutting it all up. I'm like, I don't know. That looks real healthy. And usually healthy does not taste. It doesn't taste like cheese and steak. But listen, she put the red cabbage with the cilantro and the cashew. I really wanted to take the whole bowl, but I tried to share. I wanted to be stingy. So we have that component of, if you just need a nudge or you need the right recipes, we've got that part is support too at outreach. So I know I brag a lot on outreach, but it's doing the work.
Well,
Doing the work.
it's grown a lot in the last year, and I was on the board for 7 years prior, and we were going well, but not great. And I thought we could go great, and we are moving in that direction, and we're adding people like Kelsey, the nutritionist. We've got a podiatrist. We've got even a what do you call it? Stick
Which
needles.
one? Which one?
They stick needles.
Oh, acupuncturist.
Acupuncturist, yeah,
Yes. And so it's like we got phlebotomy.
We got that too.
We've
Yeah,
got a full lab
Yeah,
inside.
LabCorp is our partner for that. We have a dental program. Ascension is our partner for that. That's being updated as we speak. And we're going to add a couple more chairs to that area too. So we'll be going, instead of 1 or 2 days a week, we'll be going 5 days.
5 days a week. So you get that dental care.
And we have a pharmacy. So and it's going to be cheaper than, because I know I get meds, and it's cheaper than going to the big box store. So
and it's even in the small things. So I wear glasses. I have very dry eyes. I stare at a computer screen for 18 hours out of my day for the most part. Or if it's not my computer screen, it's my phone. So I use eye drops a lot. And I got to work one day and didn't have any eye drops. And literally I could not open my eyes. That's how dry they were. So somebody walked, Ebony, we have a full pharmacy downstairs. What is your problem? Go down there. And I literally went down there. My eye drops are usually $20 some, right? So I have to get the good ones. They had $4. I paid for a better eye drop, actually. No employee discount. That was like everybody gets that. So yeah, we are overlooking some of these gems that are right here in our community. So again, if you are looking for a new physician, if you're looking to just make some lifestyle changes, or you need to pick up a quick medication over the counter on your way to work, stop in the outreach. It's right here in the community.
Yeah. Now we have our new building, which we moved into last September, and that's 50 some thousand square feet.
58,000 square feet.
And,
beautiful space.
And our old section is being renovated as we speak, so that's going to look a lot nicer. And all the so there's a lot of things going on.
I just need to add this. I haven't been able to go into the new facility. My wife goes to outreach, and I could always come in and go upstairs and sit in the lobby in the old building. But I pull up and I say, "Hey, I'm outside. I'm outside, but I'm coming in." No, don't come in. She won't let me in the new building.
Oh, because once you, our CEO just recorded a video yesterday, and she said once people come in, they don't want to leave. It is a beautiful space.
I'm coming in next time.
Just peek in. Just peek in.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got the greenery. We've got just light. So I like to joke with my friends. I'm basically a house plant. Okay, you give me water, put me by the light, I will grow. Right. Well, you got to talk to me nice too. You got to say, you're doing such a good job. But those are things that we forget.
I do not envy you. You got to put up with her all day.
All day.
You ever regret calling her?
Oh, yeah. There are moments.
And then he remembers that life just would not be the same.
But I have to say that she's done an amazing job. We're here because of her. Yeah. We're in the community because of her. I said I got tired of mentioning that when I talk to somebody and say, okay, you mentioned 16th Street, everybody knows what that is. You mentioned outreach, and I said nobody knows what that is. Yeah. And that I said when I started there, I said we're going to change that, and we're doing that. I think our name is getting out there well now. We're still not out there enough, but things like being here at WNOV and programs like that, and we're in the community. We're just at Juneteenth Day, and doing other things in the community. That's the key to this. You got to get out in the community, and let people know who you are,
and let us know. So connect with us on social media if there's an event that you believe we should be at. One thing I thought was really great is the amount of people that have reached out and said we want outreach at our fair, so that we can share that information and put that out in the community.
Let me just add this. I know that I used to work on East Capitol, and I would always go past the facility, and I never knew the backstory, if you will, to what the facility was at that time. It was, I think you could go around back or something like that. That the new digs, of course, weren't there yet. But I don't think the story, the things that we should be, beating our chest about and really promoting. And I hear a lot of it now because I'm here and I really know the story now, but I don't think people really know, the affordability and the services, the quality of services that are offered and the different services that are even offered at your facility. So if anything, we want to keep, telling that story.
And they will refer out to other places. Like when I had to get some other testing done for myself, I had to go to another place. But that's fine, as long as they can refer us out and get to the next place. But and we have if you don't have insurance, that's fine.
Say that again, Don.
That's the part. That's the part. That's the stuff I'm talking about.
If you don't have insurance, we can work with you. We have a sliding scale, which is very minimal cost. It's not going to be hundreds of dollars. It's going to be like $10, $20 or something. So it's really an amazing program. And it is there's 5, I believe, FQHCs. They're called Federally Qualified Health Centers in the city, and we are one of them. And I think we're going to be the biggest eventually.
One of the things I'm really happy about, not that I hopefully will ever need it, but your vending machine in the lobby there that folks can just come in and partake of, Narcan, different things that are offered there.
And that's all free.
So medicine bag locks. So if you're taking a prescription, opioid,
gun locks. Yes. Gun locks. And this is all free. It's right in our lobby. It's in a vending machine. You can just go in and take it.
You don't have to check in with anyone. You don't have to say, hey, I'm here to get some Narcan. You just walk in, smile, and go right to the machine, get what you need, and then you can head out.
It's
For sure.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So things like this, we hope to continue expanding in the city. You can always call Outreach Community Health Centers 414-727-6320. I believe the line opens at 8 a.m. So I just want to make sure if you're calling before 8 a.m., the lines won't be open. But 414-727-6320 to make an appointment, to find out more, and just to get connected.
And if any of you have an extra $1,000,000 in your pocket, I will be happy to help you with that.
That's that fun development side, right?
I have to throw my plug in.
We love it. You are listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. And as you can see, this is not just a program that we're putting on. This is a movement, and our movement is dedicated to bringing the community together through wellness, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. So as we start to look at our programming on WNOV for the next 6 months, I would challenge you to share with us your wellness programming, your upcoming events, any community health screenings that you want us to be a part of. When we were at Juneteenth, I looked up, and our new residents, so some of the 14 new doctors that will be there, are there doing blood pressure screenings. And there was one story I'll share just very briefly. There was one gentleman that came over. His blood pressure was extremely elevated. And y'all, it was hot out there. I don't know if everybody out in Radio Land was there, but it was hot, quite hot. But his blood pressure was really elevated. And this particular physician sat with him until she could bring that pressure down a little bit, and was really ready to kick up the urgency level to make sure that he was okay. And for me, it's those small little things that show how you do everything. And so the fact that she was willing to say, look, you're not going to get sick on my watch. Even if we're at a health fair in the middle of the street, we want to take care of you. That was something that kind of moved me. So that's what you get at Outreach Community Health Centers. And we're excited to see you and meet you. So come on in and get connected with us. Anything else, Don, besides $1,000,000 that people can do to get connected?
We have our health fair coming up on July 27th, and we are still looking for some vendors yet. We have, I believe, 6 new ones that we've never had before.
Yeah,
so the word is getting out, and I'm we can have a booth for you for as little as $350. Basically covers our cost of the tents. So, because that's not cheap. Everything there will be free. We'll have backpacks for the kids. In fact, they should be delivered today.
Oh, this is exciting. We got a DJ coming.
400 backpacks coming, and
they're full of school supplies, right?
Yes.
So it's not just the empty
and
bag.
As a little bonus, we will have some things. We have a deal now with Amazon where we receive some of their overstock and return goods, things like that. So a lot of health hygiene products. These are all new. They're not opened. They're and cleaning products, laundry detergents, things like that. We will be giving a lot of that stuff away at the health fair as well.
You said giving away?
Giving away.
We're giving it away. So people can just pop in. They can get supplies for the kids' upcoming school year. Get cleaning supplies for the house. Get a burger that Don is cooking himself. Yes. I hear he's a good cook. I don't know. He's a good cook. So come on out Saturday, July 27th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Totally free, totally open to the public. If you are looking to be a vendor at the health fair, please give us a call, 414-727-6320. Ask to speak to Don, right? He's the man. He'll get you all set up. I am hopeful. I believe we might even have 860 there broadcasting live. So that's fun. I know we'll have an amazing DJ to keep the spirits up and moving. So it's just gonna be a fun collaboration the whole day.
And it's not gonna rain.
It better not rain. We're doing an appeasement to the heavens to make sure that we don't get rain. So I hope it's a beautifully sunny day, but not as hot as Juneteenth. Listen, I sweated out of my skin, y'all. It was danger zone there for a minute. I got in my car and it's at 100 degrees. I said, what? I probably drank like 3 gallons of water and sweated out 2 gallons of water. But it was definitely a showcase of fun, family. I think my cheeks hurt the next day from smiling so much, seeing all my people. So it was definitely a good opportunity. So I hope you have fun at this year's Juneteenth. Definitely look forward to seeing you there next year. So Don, before we go to our next break, which will be in a couple moments, I just want to talk some statistics and maybe what women can do as women are listening, and what men need to do to just kind of nudge in to get those checkups, to get those health and wellness checks. So the top three causes of death in men are heart disease, cancer, in accidents. So like unintentional injuries. Although I add a little bit of levity, I think of like someone trying to carry up a couch up a stair and then it falls, and then that's unintended injury. But what can we do as women? Because you say we nag, which we do. How do we get you guys to get in and get checked out?
Well, I think you got to just sometimes the wife or the mother or somebody notices things about you that you don't notice about yourself. It's because you're living with yourself every day, so you don't notice the little things that are changing. But if you hear something or feel something in your body or hear something in your body, don't dismiss it. It's like when I first felt that losing my breath a little bit, and I thought, well,
It'll pass.
it'll
It'll
pass,
pass.
right?
Yeah.
And I thought, no, I got to take care of this. This is not good. So
Yeah.
you got to listen to your body and do it quickly. Don't hesitate. We'll get you in right away. You're not gonna have to wait months like you do at some of the places, some of the doctors, and some of the big, like it's called the big box stores.
The big box, yeah.
But we'll get you in right away and get you diagnosed. And we're gonna be adding all these new doctors there, and so we'll have plenty of people to take care of you.
One of the statistics that I saw as I was prepping for the show is that marriage and being married actually is associated with being more likely to get a healthcare visit, whether you have insurance or not. So if you have that person that's in your mind that's saying, or in your life that's saying, yeah, something's not right, or you used to sleep through the night and now you're getting up through the night, or I'm noticing that you're not drinking as much water, or women are keen in that, in noticing those challenges. So if your woman is telling you to get on in, don't wait. That's the key. Don't wait. Get on in.
And for you women, we have a woman gynecologist.
Yes, we do, Dr.
And
French. Dr. French.
Yes,
Yes.
and we have you covered on pretty much all phases.
Absolutely.
So,
Or like you said, if we don't have it in house, we know how to refer
Right.
you out. So
and we
that's
have mental health programs that we offer as well. So we can do it's a one-stop shop. And what they'll do is they'll ask you when you're doing your physical whether you have any other problems. They will ask you those questions and refer you to other doctors in the clinic. So we want to take care of all of you.
Yeah. And one of the things, as Devo was saying earlier, kind of our history, it really has grown. Outreach has blossomed. So it started off being home healthcare for the homeless.
Yep.
And so we still every week will pack up a van and go out into the streets from Thursday to Friday overnight, providing supplies, materials, food, but just checking in on people. So don't think that health and wellness is just meant for the folks we see every day. There's an entire population that is under the bridges and in tent cities and in park and ride lots that also needs health care. And if the pandemic has taught us anything, is that all of our health is connected. So the health of one or the lack of health in one can affect all of us together. So just something to keep in mind. But we blossomed from that, but we have not forgotten our roots. We've got the mobile health unit, and Don is ready to take your donations in smiles, but in cash, right?
Right.
In smiles, but in cash. And if you do want to donate, there is a space on the website as well. So you can donate at www.ochc-milw.org. That's www.ochc-milw.org. When we come back, we'll meet our next guest in the top of the next hour, and we'll talk a little bit more about men's health and the women who nag them to get checked out. You're listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. We'll be right back. Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. I want to hear from you, Milwaukee, this morning. We've got Don Cohen from Outreach Community Health Centers in the studio talking all things. So give us a call, 414-444-5250. So during the break, we were just chatting about how we share these health and wellness tips to the next generation. And so a couple months back, we were talking about the youth and what our kids need to do, our kids, our community kids, they're all of us, what we need to do to demonstrate wellness to them. So I mentioned briefly to my daughter, I try to exhibit and provide tools for mental health and wellness and that emotional wellness. But Don, what are you doing to kind of pass the torch to your kids to make sure that they're healthy?
Well, my older son works for Humana. He's a
Mhm.
computer geek up in Green Bay. Um, he just looks at me and says, Dad, it's embarrassing watching you on a computer. Just double shut.
Oh, working with Don in the computer. He's like, nope, I'm not going to type it out. I'm
No,
like, come on,
I'm
come
one
on.
finger typer, sometimes two. It grows, but then my younger son, he works at a body shop here, does the estimating for them,
Mhm.
and he actually is a patient at the clinic here.
Excellent. So it's a
He,
family affair.
yeah, he has gout, and which he can thank me for, and I thank my dad for. But he came up there and they gave him some medication for that. So he comes in and he looks at his bill and he goes, "What is this?" It's like nothing.
It's nothing. I pay that right now.
Yeah.
I pay that right now.
So yeah, it's just again, and listen to your body, and when it says something, go in right away. The faster you get in, the easier it is. Like anything, and you catch cancer soon enough, you're gonna
Mhm.
hopefully beat it. But if
Mhm.
you wait and wait and wait, things get worse.
Yeah. So with you brought up something, the family history, right? And knowing, did you
Well,
share with your kids kind of your health history with them?
oh yeah. Well, we in my family we have heart problems, and had cancer. My father had several different cancers. So it's like my brother, who's a cancer researcher. He said it's not a matter of when, it's when, or if, it's
Mhm.
when we're going to
Mhm.
get cancer.
Mhm.
So I'm getting up there,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
get nervous
Yeah.
about it. So
Yeah.
that's why I get checked a lot as well.
Yeah. We think about how delicate and sensitive the body is. I mean, we all kind of have these things just right underneath the surface that if the right conditions, what we're eating, our environmental situations, the air we're breathing, the water we're drinking, if those things kind of align, it creates these issues in our bodies. So I like to say that cancer really is just growth. It's just what you want to grow and what you don't want to grow. So we don't want the negative things that are harming our bodies to grow. And that's really what cancer is. So paying attention to the diet, paying attention to how much we move, all of those things are extremely important. So in our next hour, we got another community great, as I like to call you all, people that are dedicated to the mission of health, the mission of wellness, but have been doing this for, dare I say, decades? Now we're
Well,
talking decades
I've
now.
known Matthew for at least 20 years.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, he's been involved. He had a kids show at the time, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
a kids news show, I think it was. But
yeah.
yeah, I've been working with him off and on for many, many, many years, and we connected again once I got the outreach, and here we are again.
Don, listen, before we officially introduce Matthew Johnson, Don Cohen has a way of being very nice, but being very firm about what he needs from you. So he's like, "Hey, Ebony, I'm over at Outreach, and I'm going to need you to be over here doing marketing, okay?" And it's like you can't say no to that.
Well,
You just
once you are in my web, and I tell this to everybody, you're not getting out, and I will use and abuse you. But um, what I try to do is make everybody win.
yes, yes.
Yesterday I needed a place to put the Amazon stuff that we got, and I grabbed a friend of mine that runs the zoo down in Racine,
See,
because they had a
see,
big building that we could put the stuff in and sort through it and bring it back up. So everybody, but everybody wins.
everybody
And
wins.
that's my goal, is to make sure that everybody gets something out of it. It's not a one-way street.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's what the community needs. It needs more folks that are literally thinking about how do I take my talents, but the talents of the people that are around me and do it all for the community. So, um, people can see that passion. So we thank you. Let me thank you publicly before we go back and tussle some more about something. I'm not
You
even
recorded that.
thank you, Don,
Yeah,
for
it's on the web now, so it's out there for
right,
eternity.
right. You heard it here first. News flash. Thank you, Don, for your continued commitment to this community and making sure now that we're all healthy and we're well and supporting outreach.
We just have to keep it going.
Somebody just tuning in would really think you guys like each other.
You would think, but it's again, it's like Tom and Jerry. If we have a common issue
Wow.
that we're fighting, we're teaming up and we're strong. But
Well, the biggest fight is she says, make a write something up about this. And I keep telling her, I don't write things.
he does not write.
I'm
I'm
a
like,
terrible
just type me
writer.
up some bullet points.
Yeah,
Sounds like a lot like myself.
Yeah,
I am not a good writer at all.
Yeah,
And-
he's
and-
like, I'm just gonna tell it to you, and you're gonna write it.
Right.
I'm like, what? So no, if you ever see us out in public and we're Tom and Jerry, just know it's all from a place of love. All from a place of love. So in our next hour, we will chat with Matthew Johnson and the connection of outreach community health centers and some of the initiatives that he is working on in his history in the community. So Debo, I think we're going to break, right? We doing a break real quick? We just did a break. So we're gonna move into our next hour. Okay. All right. So we'll wait a couple more moments. But Don, tell me, I know a little bit, but tell me, as you are out in the community and we're making these collaborations, these connections, why do you think it's important to not try to do this work ourselves? Why is it so important to have those partners?
The partners are extremely important to us, especially like the hospitals, because people are going into emergency rooms and it's costing a lot of money for someone to go to an emergency room for a cold.
Mhm.
And they could be coming to a place like outreach for their physicals or for their ailments and not have to go to a hospital, which is very, very costly for them as well as the hospital.
That's where you get that Tylenol for like
Yeah,
$1,700
$900.
for one little And so if I could add a little bit about the debate and some of the conversation that was back and forth, like I said, top of the hour, I didn't watch it in depth, but I did grab the clips and the news features. They're talking about Medicaid and prescription drug prices. So if we could wave a magic wand and ask the government for anything, it would be to not have $1,700 Tylenol, right? Or $900 ibuprofen, right? That would be one of the things we'd ask for. But outreach is a federally qualified health center, which means we get funding from the federal government to take care of our community. So it's up to us to advocate for reduced costs to our pharmacy. So as I shared, Walgreens is cutting another 8,000 pharmacies. These things are going to be hard to find in our community, right? And so outreach is kind of there having your back again with the pharmacy.
Yeah, we just redid our pharmacy, did a new look on it now, so we have windows that you can go up to, privacy windows. So we made a lot of changes in that building in the last couple of years, and it's going to continue.
Yeah, and it's really I feel like they're folks that talk the talk, but folks that actually walk the walk. So we're making the investment in these renovations.
And we have great partners too. We have Ascension, Reggie over at Ascension has been a great partner of ours for a dental program and other things. He's been very helped sponsor a lot of things. Freightert, Medical College of Wisconsin, Anthem. We just grabbed somebody from Anthem that is going to be joining our board. And she'll be a great addition for us. So we have partnerships with even UMOS on the south side, and we're going to hopefully have partnership with St. Augustine when they build that new facility at Stritch College. So I'm meeting with them in a couple of weeks. So there's a lot of things going on in the community, and we're really happy to be growing and being a part of it. And we've still got a lot of growth to go yet. So, please come on in. We're not, won't take you 2 months to get into it. See a doctor.
Mm-hmm. So that's 414-727-6320 to become a patient, to connect with the pharmacy, to be an advocate, sponsor, right? We call Don. Tell them you wanna throw $1 million at us. Give them a call.
And another thing, you won't have to wait 2 hours in the waiting room to see your doctor. I've done that at some of
Oh,
these, at one the other doctors' clinics,
right,
and
right.
you are in there. Yeah,
Carmen,
you
you
are.
say you fell asleep at
Yeah,
the
you are in there very quickly.
Yes,
They don't let people sit around very long, so
yes, yes.
it's a whole different atmosphere.
Or
And
forget
now it's
about you.
yeah,
So they just the doctor will see you. Nope, the doctor's gone home. I love that. I had that at a dentist recently. I went in for some dental pain, and I just needed to figure out, is this something that needs to be extracted? Is it what's happening with my tooth? And I think I was like 3 minutes late. 3 minutes late. And it's because the building is so big, you got to come through. And oh no, no, the doctor's gone. The doctor's gone. Gone. It took them 3 minutes to get out of the building. That's crazy. And so of course I had to wait another 6 months to get back in to that, which by then I don't even need the teeth. Take them out, throw them away. So you don't have to wait crazy times to get in to see your doctor. That's Outreach Community Health Centers, 414-727-6320.
and we're available to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just
Mm-hmm.
lower income or no insurance or that type of thing. Anybody, because I have insurance, and when I had my heart problems, I had good insurance from where I was working at the time, which I was very thankful for, because that whole process cost about $500,000.
Oh my God. Say it again for
yeah,
me, Don. What?
yeah, $500,000 for that surgery, and I was in the hospital for about a week or so because they couldn't get me in right away for the surgery. So, and that was kind of in a pause area for COVID. So most of the hospital was filled with COVID patients. So it was quite an experience. But St. Luke's, I was at St. Luke's for that, and it was not something I ever want to go through again.
No,
I'll tell you
I
that.
would think not. Not only physically but financially, right? So one of the other components here is like the lack of physicians in our community. So if I can hop back up on my soapbox for a minute, we need more folks going to med school. We need to nurture that. We need more doctors. As I call them, homegrown. So they're raised here. They're going to medical school here. Again, shout out to Medical College of Wisconsin for nurturing those physicians. In some of my previous work, I've been able to help usher in new African American, Hispanic, and Asian American physicians here. And they're just really dedicated to making sure that those physicians are here. They have culturally relevant care. So then my heart is excited that now those physicians are coming to outreach to continue
And
that
it was a
training.
very diverse group of physicians that are coming in. I only saw them for a few minutes, but I can tell you there was a very diverse group.
And it matters. I mean, when you think of not to go fully down the rabbit hole, but I think I was probably 24 or 25 before I had my first African American woman doctor. And for me, somebody that's like, sister girl, right? That can pull me to the side and say, sister girl, you're not doing what you need to be doing. And here's why. And here's the implications. That for me has a deeper impact. Somebody who can understand, who can feel, and can guide you. I had one conversation a couple days ago. Your physician should be a partner in your care. Like they should be a trusted advisor. They should be a friend of yours to tell you when you're on point. And having those physicians that are from your community, look like you, speak like you, but also can understand how you think, priceless. Truly, truly priceless. What else can we expect, I guess, over the next 6 months out of outreach? So we've done so much over the past 6 months. What else we got coming up? Like what else to the moon?
Well, we'll be having the ribbon cutting for the new facility, or the rehab facility, I should say, for the physicians that are coming in. That'll be probably in August sometime, but we're still waiting to find out when they're going to be finished, because, as you know, contractors are contractors, and if anything can go wrong, it will. And so we're just waiting for the final date on when we can occupy that space.
So, to book an appointment with these new physicians, your process will be pretty much the same. So, you'll be able to call the main number. Um, what do you hope? So, let's say if we could wave a magic wand in 5 years from now. How do you see this program impacting the city?
Well, I think the way I look at it, I want it to be more than just the FQHC. I want it to be a full clinic, like that people know they can go to no matter who you are or what your situation is, whether you're a billionaire or living on the street. It We should be able to handle everybody, and people should be comfortable coming in there. And now with the new facility, I mean, it is just night and day difference from the old facility. It's just so beautiful. We walk in now; it's very, very open, very airy, very
It's the light. I'm
bright.
telling
Yeah,
you,
and the old place was like, oh my God, what is this? So
that's growth for you.
yeah,
That's growth for you.
it's but it served the need at the time. But now we've grown that, and like you said, we came from healthcare for the homeless. That's what it originally was, and we've grown a lot since then. But we still are with our roots. We still have work with the homeless population. We also have a program that we help the homeless population get apartments, and we can help pay for those apartments, and we can help furnish them.
So it's kind of a holistic. So you brought up an excellent point in terms of once we get your health care taken care of, there's these wraparound services. So there's community service. I always talk about 5 pillars. So we have the primary care, we have the dental, we have the behavioral health, but community services. So to your point, folks can come in 414-727-6320. They can, if they're homeless, experiencing homelessness, or they're trying to get on their feet, they can get connected to those programs. We call them targeted case management. You can get connected to that. And then you can do things like find an apartment, get help with those bills, get your apartment furnished, right? Um, and so it's a really care for the whole person. I like to say I'll figure out how to work that into our mission statement in the next couple months. But it really is. And so outreach is doing the work. It's walking the walk, making sure that we're all healthy. So coming up here, like I said, in a few moments, we will chat one of the community events that's happening this summer. I know we've got our big health fair coming up Saturday, July 27th from 11 to 2. To get connected, 414-727-6320. But talk back to me, Milwaukee. I haven't heard from y'all. Y'all are quiet this morning. 414-444-5250. Talk back to me. Let me know about health and wellness in your space, what you're doing, maybe some of those challenges that you've had and how you've overcome them. If outreach has made a difference in your life, give me a buzz. Let me know. So one of our community health fair, we will also be at Bronzeville Week this year. We will be attending a health fair at El Bethel. I believe that is Saturday, July 20th. We are at there's a family fest on the 17th but coming up on August 24th, I want you to break out your calendar. There is a walk run in the city, and we'll chat coming up here shortly with the creator, the founder, and chief supporter of that walk run. You'll see some of your favorite Milwaukee celebrities there. I'm positive. So mark your calendar, Saturday, August 24th for the Milwaukee 5K, MKE 5K. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that and how you can get connected here in a couple moments. Don, are you a runner? Let me tell you, I used to be a runner.
If I start now, I might make it to the finish line by August.
Are you a walker? Do you get out and
walk.
do walks?
Yeah, I do walk.
Okay.
I don't live far from the lake down in Racine, and we take walks down by the lake all the time. But
Yeah.
I try to walk because I know you can't tell by I look very physically fit on the radio.
You are. You are.
But
Physical fitness is
that
a
is not the
mindset.
truth. I do eat too much, but I do try to get some exercise, and my wife nags me every day about going for a walk and
Seriously.
getting out and at least hitting some golf balls or something. But
Right.
so we try to, but it's been, the weather has been just god awful.
I tell you. I tell you.
Lately, my yard is a marsh, and
Because it's been raining for like 50 years. 50
it's,
years.
yeah, this is brutal.
Yeah. Is there something we don't know about, like Noah's Ark or something like that? I don't know. I don't know. It's been raining a lot. So if you know anything, please let us know so we can prepare. But I love a good walk. I live out in one of the northern suburbs, and just to get out in nature. Like I said, I'm basically a house plant. But I love to be among like the trails, the bug line trail, the oak leaf trail, and just walk, kind of leave it all out on the pavement. So if you can't do anything, just get out and walk. Walk your block, walk 2 blocks, 2 blocks into 4 blocks. But make a commitment this month, Men's Health Month, to better health, better outcomes. Speaking of that, if I could just take a moment from men's health and turn it to the women in your lives, we have some programming that is specifically for women called Step Up Divas. They meet once a month. And this coming month, July 10th, I believe, nope, July 13th, Saturday, July 13th, um, the women will be on the beer line trail, the beeline trail that starts right near Outreach. So start small, but start. Get out and do a walk, do a mile. We did Pilates last month, and listen, Pilates looks really easy. Like to your point, it looks like anybody can do that. We were doing the little cycling like from the 80s. You do the little bicycles in the air. The next day and the day after and the day after, I was hurting, hurting, hurting. So those small steps make a big difference. So join the women of Outreach on Saturday, July 13th at the meet us at the front doors, and then we'll walk the bug line trail, the beer line trail. Get them mixed up. They're different. The beer line trail to take steps to your health and wellness. So coming up August 24th, there is called the Milwaukee 5K race. And let me just read a little bit about it because we are a sponsor of this event. So that's why we want you to join us. On Saturday, August 24th, a community-driven wellness initiative honoring men and their families at the Fiserv Forum Deer District will take place. By promoting wellness and a healthy lifestyle, we hope to encourage the entire family to spend quality time together. This event is open to all ages and abilities. Let me say that again. This event is open to all ages and abilities. So if you got 2 feet, 1 foot, you're rolling on 2 wheels, come out and join us. We want the community really to support. Mentors are also encouraged to bring their mentees to join in on the fun. You can register for this walk run at www.mke5k.com. That's www.mke5k.com. And the CEO says men's health is often overlooked, and we want to persuade men to take care of themselves and their families. The MKE 5K is a fun and interactive way to focus on on a few health disparities such as heart health, colon health, prostate cancer, mental health, nutrition health, and financial health. And this year, there are 2 co-chairs, and you know them, Milwaukee. This year's co-chair is Ashanti Hamilton, director of the Milwaukee Office of Health and Wellness, and the county exec, Dave Crowley,
Who was a board member?
Right? So shout out to you, county exec. We did get a chance to see him at Juneteenth as well. But the Milwaukee 5K will help us reach our goal to become the healthiest county in the state, says Crowley. So join us. Outreach, again, is excited to be a sponsor for this year's event. So come out and join us. Walk with us. Kick it with us. Join in on the fun. Okay, so you can register online to join us, or you can call us 414-727-6320. So Don, we were talking about the things that are coming up over the next 6 months. of outreach, what are some of the health topics that you think we might be able to utilize to get the community excited? Like, we've got the health fair, but people don't get excited about cholesterol. That's not something they're like,
No,
woo,
I,
cholesterol.
I think, well, blood pressure is a big issue, especially in the African American community. A friend of mine just passed away from prostate cancer. We're very close to, again, a big issue in the African American community. In fact, he passed away on January 1st, so it was not a good start to the year.
And that's James Hall.
James Hall,
James
yeah,
Hall.
my he was one of my closest friends and mentor, and just
Community giant.
yeah, community giant. Yeah, just loved being around him. When he was the president of the NAACP, I was the treasurer, and yeah, he dragged me into that one. But
So he did to you what
yeah,
you do. Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
everybody, and I got dragged onto the board originally at
Mhm.
Outreach by Warner Jackson, who I had worked with at SDC. He was the board chair at that time. So I've been around the block a few times, and I've been involved with many different community groups, and I just like working with the community, which is kind of strange because my upbringing, I grew up in a very small town, and there were no minorities in town, and there
See.
was one Jewish family,
See.
and that was Mars. And
Where
when
did you grow up in the Midwest?
yeah, in a little
Mhm.
town called Edgerton, just south of
Oh,
Madison.
okay, okay,
In
okay.
fact, when my father was a doctor, and it's a long story how he got there, but when he was there, he started his practice, and they wouldn't even let him use the hospital facilities because he was Jewish. So, and I felt the discrimination because I grew up in the 50s and 60s, and even though there was no other minority groups, I take that back. There was one Native American family that was there, but other than that, there was nothing. So it was I understood it, and then when I came to Milwaukee, I just started working with different groups. I don't know, it just kind of
That's why you got the
eased its way.
connection. Like, there's listen, I'm old enough to know when people are blowing smoke, right? And there's some people that are just very, very genuine in their work, in their focus. And I would put you in that category. There's some people, would throw money at diversity initiatives, but like, you are plugged in and like locked into this community.
Well, and like I said, with the web that I have, and I met Ebony 10 years ago,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I
It's
remembered.
actually more than that, Don.
Oh,
Dang.
you're getting older, not me.
Right, right, right.
But I remembered the way she had done brochures and flyers and things at the time. And that was when I was on the NAACP board, and I really liked the way her style was. And when we needed somebody, I thought, well, let me see if I can get a hold of her, because I remembered it. Now that was over 10 years ago,
Mhm,
so
mhm,
you
mhm.
never get out of my web. At some point, I will find you, because I will need something.
It's a
And
good web, though.
yeah,
It's a good
it's a
web.
fun web,
It's a
and
good web.
everybody, like I said, I try to make sure everybody wins. It's not just a take type thing, and even with our funders, yeah, we need money. Even though we get federally funded, they don't cover all the costs of different things, like our mobile unit. There's certain issues that we need to take care of, and with other things around the building that we need funding for, just to keep us going every day.
Yeah. So we were talking about I'm still gonna call him President James Hall. That's just the way I see him. We were at the Legacy Gala.
Yes,
Was it around this time last year?
I think it was
Time
in
is flying.
August. I
August.
think, yeah.
And he was in good health and good spirits. And so that's kind of the mindset I'm taking with the reason we're nagging, the reason we're nudging you to go in and get checked is because there's so many things that you might not be able to see on the surface that could be happening. But he's another one gone way too soon. Held this community up for many, many years. I recall just a quick incident, or a story. It's not an incident. We were working to create some voter engagement, and I had not met him in person. So I'd only up to that point seen his name on materials and seen his name on documentation. But he came in and sat down at the table and he's talking, and I'm like, he reminded me of Elijah Muhammad in the movie. Malcolm X, right? So this soft spoken but powerful spoken person, and like immediately had my attention. I'm like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And so, of course, I didn't want to be embarrassed and ask at the table, who is this guy? So then he gets up and he goes to the podium and he says, I am President James Hall. I'm like, that's the guy from the paper, right? I was young, naive, but um, after that, understanding the weight, the impact that he had in this community will never be lost. So that lives on. The legacy is strong into his family. Thank you for sharing him for so many years to our community. The impact is felt for sure, for sure. You are listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, this is a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. We'll be right back.
Are you a dynamic individual with a passion for sales?
Good morning, Milwaukee. You're listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, it's a movement. We were chatting during the break. This is one of those mornings that I just figure everybody's sitting in their bed still with the coffee. They call that remote hybrid work day in, right? They're just chilling. It's a perfect day for that. Perfect. Working from home. I call that a mental health day too. Do men take mental health days? Do they? Or they just power through? Just general. Y'all speak. You do? What you got? What you got, Kyrie? What you got? It is. Yeah. Boom. What do you do for your mental health? Look at you. That listen, that sound bath. He said he listens to high frequency music. Man, you just made my
You
day.
brought up a huge point. I mean, most men do not want to get checked or have
Yeah.
get help with their mental health
Yeah.
issues,
Yeah.
and it is so important.
Yeah.
They're more likely to go for the physical health than they are the mental health.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
even now you're seeing the baseball players, the actors,
Mm-hmm.
the A-listers, I guess they call them,
Yeah.
are they have I think a permanent physician on site
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
psychologist or psychiatrist on
Yeah.
site, and it shouldn't be the stigma that it is,
It should not.
and it does have that. So
What's
It
the
should.
young lady, the gymnast who just kind of stepped away from it all
Um,
for
Simone
mental?
Biles.
yeah,
Yeah, she
Yeah.
just said,
Yeah.
I need to get my mental health
yeah,
Yeah.
and
piece
now look
together."
at her; she's back on top of her game
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. It's a part that's not spoken about, but I love being a resource. So finding though, I love YouTube for that reason. You can plug in relaxing melodies, you can plug in sound bath, you can plug in, and you can have that going throughout your workday. But sometimes you just don't want to power through. Get your coffee and lay in bed. The world actually will continue on without you. It for that day, for that one day, you can take what you need. So getting those mental health screenings. We talked, what was it, May? The months are rolling by. We talked about in May it being mental health awareness month, and just taking that moment, but being okay with not being okay. So we had a few of our clinicians in, and there's a waiting list in
Yeah,
Milwaukee.
yeah,
So there's a backlog of folks that need treatment that aren't able to get it because we just don't have enough.
yeah. That is
Um,
an issue.
mhm.
We are, and that's everywhere.
Yeah.
There isn't any place I know of that you can
Just
get
walk
in.
right in.
Well, you can walk in. We do have a
Mm-hmm.
walk-in
Mm-hmm.
program through the county that you can get some help, but it is that's a tough road right now because there just are not enough physicians
Yeah.
out there, and psychologists and psychiatrists. They're just in such a need. It's really blown up in the last few years because of um, the people that are coming out and saying, "Yeah, I got mental health
Yeah.
issues," and
Yeah.
people are starting to say, "Oh, okay, well, if they got a problem, maybe, and I've got a problem, maybe it's not such a bad deal that I go and talk to somebody."
I know that's right. So the idea that and I straddle the fence in this, the resources are there for those that have mental health disorders. So if there is an issue, but I also want to see the same amount for mental wellness, like those things you can do to just feel better, to feel more well. But now what do you do? Like when Ebony is tap dancing on that last nerve, and I like to do it in stilettos too, like what are some of the things you do to kind of unplug to restore
One
that balance?
one of the things I do, I have a collector car, and it's an old Mercedes convertible, and I like to drive it. It's just a fun car to drive, and it just gets me out. And as long as it's not like a day like today, I would have driven it up here today. But otherwise, I just go and hit a bucket of golf balls, or go on. I got a small golf course near me, and I go over there sometimes and just get it by myself, and I just
Mhm,
go hit some
mhm.
golf balls and just take in the air and just calm down.
Yeah, yeah. Carvey, what do you do? You mentioned some of the things, but when you just gotta restore, relax, unwind, what do you do? Chill. Listen, I will take a nap. Listen. There actually is. Okay, so again, I'm gonna give you a saying. Salt cures, whether it's seawater, whether it's tears, whether
My wife, it's salt water. I
it's
mean, if there's a beach, she will be on
yes,
it.
Lord. Yes, you can't be mad on a boat. You just
No.
you don't even need a boat. Put your
Yeah.
feet in the water, right? Just get out and do those
Yeah,
things.
she will do that. She'll just grab somebody and say, "I want to go on your boat," and she'll just go.
And as she should. Shout out to Carolyn.
Yeah.
She is amazing.
she's
If
she's
you
taking care of my her sister's baby right now, so he's like 9 months old, so it's driving her crazy.
listen, if you've met Caroline, she is a party.
Oh yeah.
She is such a bright light. So she keeps you well and balanced. So that's a benefit to everybody. For sure, for sure. But nurturing those moments of health, nurturing those moments of wellness. My husband is a runner. My dad is a runner and a swimmer. Pretty much everyone around me kind of finds their way of restoring. But like I said, for me, it's walks. For me, it's powering down. I will take a nap. I do not need to be
I do take
persuaded.
I do take walks too because I don't live far from the lake down in Racine, and
Mhm.
I just go down and sit. We have a little beach near us that nobody uses. Nobody
Mhm.
knows is there, and I just go down and just sit by the water. I like water. It's just calming.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I used to have a big fish tank, but I finally got rid of that after like 15 years because I got tired of cleaning it out. But
I got the one little fish bowl with like the one little fish. Ooh.
tank, so
Ooh.
it was just fun to watch. I don't know, something about water just calms me.
Yeah. I mean, a good beach, a good bonfire, good people around you. I think there's so much to be said too about like a network of folks around you. What would you say about like your friend group? Is your friend group that immediate group of people, are they into the health and wellness space?
They are. I dragged them into it, but
No, not you, not you.
yeah, most of my friends are now patients at Outreach,
Mhm.
but they run different organizations, and I've just been blessed to have some really close friends, and a very diverse group as well. So it's a lot of fun. I get involved a lot of Hmong community issues and Hispanic community issues, and so that to me is a lot of fun. It's fun to see other cultures and learn about other cultures,
I agree.
and that really is. I think if people would just stop the fear,
Mm-hmm.
and not worry about you know what all this garbage that you hear on TV and stuff, but just go and meet people and talk to people and get every ethnic food in the world I've had,
And it's delicious.
it's
Listen,
wonderful.
it's delicious. I mean, to me, it again, I like these mantras, I like these jokes. So I say, if you want world peace, get everybody's grandma together. Put abuela in the house with Big Mama, in the house with the tribal elders. Put everybody's grandma in a room, and we will have world peace.
I'm working on that too.
But the food, you mentioned the food. The food from around the world is delicious. So I will try anything, right? Except like there are some things I won't try. If it's got eyes looking back at me,
no.
generally speaking, I won't. But I love Asian cuisine. Any noodles, sauces. I think I might have some Italian and Mexican heritage somewhere because my love for cheese and pasta, unmatched. And a good salsa, a good tomato based. Yeah. But it's not nutrition month, is it? Food calms me. Do you cook, Don? Is cooking a way to
Yes,
relax?
I do cook.
Okay.
We do have picnics and barbecues and stuff at my house because I got a big deck that I can go on. And in fact, we're having one this weekend for Caroline's sister's birthday.
He forgot our invitation, Milwaukee. He forgot to invite us to the cookout. Don did not invite us.
Like he forgot.
Like, where's my invite?
Everybody's invited to my house at any time, and especially Thanksgiving. We have the whole world is at my house on Thanksgiving.
So, but you will be cooking at the health fair.
Yes,
so they can come out and sample your finest.
Yes, I will be making hamburgers and hot dogs. And,
Okay.
chips are already made, so that's not a problem.
I like to take credit for that. I made the chips.
Yeah.
I made the chips.
I did find a grill big enough now to do that. I was hoping for another one, but I couldn't get that one, so I got one now that he's roasted a pig on the grill, so I know it's big enough
What?
to.
Debo, do you grill?
Oh, please.
Are you a grill master?
Yeah,
It's
please.
levels to this.
Please, I have trophies.
Is
Yeah.
okay. Favorite dish to make?
All right, well,
Spare ribs.
Spare ribs. I won't really believe you until I try them myself. I am a.
I understand.
You need to bring. When will you be bringing those in?
I don't know.
well, then next year you'll have to be one of our chefs. You know,
Right.
we took over Benihana's and we had dining with Docs, which I was not happy about. I wanted it.
Go and tell the people,
Doctors That
Don. Go
Cook
and tell the people.
was my
how it-
idea, and then she
Mhm.
came up with Dine with Docs, and of course she had already put all the stuff out.
Yeah.
Before I
The,
could
the
say no.
alliteration, though, right?
She shored it up by
Yeah.
having all the docs.
Right,
It's
so
already done.
We got all these doctors that were cooking at Benihana's, and they were the chefs, and of course they had chefs with them from Benihana's,
Plankington?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it
Mhm.
was an absolute ball.
It
Everybody
was.
just had a great time.
It was.
We had 3 judges,
Mhm.
actual judges: Pedro Colon and Christy Yang and
Derek Mosley.
Derek Mosley.
Shout out to Judge
Okay.
Mosley.
And Derek Mosley came. He said, "Well, how are we supposed to judge them?" I said, "Just have fun with it." And they did. They just had
So
had a ball.
you had all these physicians, surgeons, like cooking
I wouldn't
for
fit
us.
in the docs part though.
Well,
You're a doctor of the radio.
radio.
well,
There you
actually, one of the listeners, Dr. Ward, deemed me a doctor.
See?
So yeah,
You are a doctor of
I'll
the
fit in. I'll
airwaves.
fit in. I'll make
Yes.
it work.
Okay, so you heard it here
Yeah,
first.
but
Our
I don't know.
very
I don't
first.
know if spare ribs would fit.
No, that one.
There's
that
a
one,
little beef. They had a little steak situation in there.
Okay.
You could just
yeah,
put your own little
steak and
flavor on
chicken,
it.
and so it.
I mean, I don't know how healthy
But that was a
spare
fun.
ribs are.
That was just a really fun night.
Really.
Then we've got to show up at the walk so that we can walk off the calories. So you can eat pretty much anything. It's the how you balance it out. How you balance it out. So we're getting spare ribs. I just want to make mental notes. We're
Oh,
getting
boy.
spare ribs. Don is inviting us
doesn't
to
forget
the full the full cookout, and then he'll be cooking for us for
She forgets because she promised Carvey something that he hasn't got.
So listen, let me just bring that on back. We were talking last month about cheese and chips, cheese and chips. So why you shouldn't be eating chips. And I was shaking my finger. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. But then I said, let me put you on to this cheese, right? Because that's my vice. I don't do a lot of things, but I do the cheese and I do the steak. Gouda. So if you have never had mac and cheese made with
Gouda's
smoked
sensational.
Gouda, it really
Changes the whole profile.
it's going to change everything. So I said I would bring that. I haven't. Keep me accountable. You're gonna get some Gouda.
Gouda's good stuff.
Oh my goodness. Don, do you like the cheese?
Some.
Favorite cheese? As you can see, we're stretching at this point, right?
No, we're fine. We're fine.
What's your favorite cheese?
I think I like Swiss. Like some of the other.
Okay. Listen, give me the funky cheeses. Give me the horseradish. That stuff is like drinking
Oh,
gasoline.
Have you had hook cheese?
I have. You know who brought me hook cheese?
Keon.
brought me. There is video. No, there's not video. If you check our Instagram page, there's video of me having the cheese. He did follow it up with another healthy snack. But listen, that's my vice. Give me
Hook
some
cheese, in my opinion, it's right in there with a good cheddar.
It is. I mean, you can eat it by the block. So this body shape didn't get this way for me not enjoying fine foods. But I try to work out in the interim. So I would say wine and cheese is the way I relax. For sure.
Favorite wine?
Ooh, I love a Gewürztraminer, which is like a Riesling. I know.
Yeah.
I'm about to put my spectacles on because I feel really
Well,
classy.
Now
when I
we're gonna
say
have to
Gewürztraminer.
have a case of wine at our desk every morning. So
No, you can't drink
And
at work.
cheese.
I did ask that. I did ask that.
Pinot Grigio for me. I like a good Pinot.
Okay.
Riesling is good.
Yeah.
I'm on the sweeter profile.
Yes, absolutely.
Moscato, that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's always good time for
That-
Moscato. It's very sweet.
yeah,
Very sweet.
that we'll get to you real quick.
And the problem is no.
Yeah.
And
But the
problem-
Oh, here
Merlots,
you-
things of that nature.
Here comes Matt.
But those are the things that are good for your heart. They say.
You know what we should
It
be
is.
doing when he walks in?
What should we be?
Signing off.
So we are no good. We are
Thank you
no
for
good.
coming. Uh, Folks, it's been a
We are,
great
we
show. We
are no
appreciate you listening
good.
in, but we're done.
No, we're waiting Milwaukee to share with you a phenomenal resource that's here in the city. So it'll just take us a couple seconds to transition into that. Always welcome. So that's why you're hearing about cheese, right? You're because we're waiting to share some resources with you. But they say wine is good for the heart. So maybe just a little nip here and there. If you do like to sip on the wine, do it in moderation, of course. Um, but again, lots of fun, lots of laughter, banter. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Johnson. If you're watching on YouTube, wave at this camera back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, Milwaukee, as you're dining on your cheese this morning, hopefully it's a slow morning with a glass of wine at 8 o'clock in the morning. Why not? YOLO. But you want to live well, so don't do YOLO too much. You're listening to Community Heartbeat. And again, a part of this show was meant to be a resource creator for the community. So we've been chatting a little bit about Men's Health Month, the screenings you need, the facilities available at Outreach. But this August, we are excited to partner with one of Milwaukee's living legends. You know, I'm a build it up here.
I'm living.
We got Matthew Johnson in the studio. Welcome to the studio,
Thank you for
Matthew
having
Johnson.
me.
You got to get closer to your mic. Get closer to your mic.
Oh,
Hey,
thank
hey.
you, thank
How you
you.
doing this morning? Matthew
blessed.
Johnson, for
I'm
the
blessed.
three people that don't know you in the city, who are you?
I'm Matthew Johnson,
Who,
born and raised,
mhm.
Milwaukee Tech,
Okay, okay.
graduated engineering degree, and I'm here at home.
And what have you done in this city, Matthew Johnson?
Man,
You want me to read the official bio?
not really.
Okay, I
But
will.
I can touch on it real
Okay,
quick.
go on,
I mean,
touch
what
on
I've
it.
done, I started working for Anheuser-Busch and Philip Morris. I quit my job 29. I started my own business, and I've not looked back since. And I went into the entertainment business where I started a TV show. And then I started publishing. I published about 6, 7 titles. And I had a bunch of young people that I trained in Teen Forum and Strive Media. And those kids are now all doing very well for the most part. I would say 99% of them. And now I'm into consulting when it comes to the health and wellness area. So I started health and wellness in 2006 after I lost my mom. I lost my father in 2009, and both of them took a congestive heart failure. And I took it upon myself to do something about it. So here I am.
And Matthew, I'm one of those students you nurtured into greatness. So like one of my very first jobs in
So
marketing
I have you to
was
blame.
yep, it's his fault.
Yeah.
And I was the same person back then. He's
But-
like, get a hold of
But
yourself.
you put the taste on Girlfriends. I mean,
This
come
is
on now.
true. So shout out to Girlfriends.
Girlfriends magazine.
Yes.
It was the first lifestyle magazine in the city that featured women, and then it ended up being in about 10 different cities.
Right.
And we have 5 offices around the country.
I mean,
Which is pretty
it's a
cool.
pretty. I mean,
But it was
from
all
what-
you though.
I mean, listen, I am just a minor note in major songs.
Oh, you
That's
was
it.
awesome. You was awesome.
No, so Girlfriends then morphed into Men's Health.
Yeah, more. It really, after my father passed 3 years later, I decided to do something for him in his honor. So, we have to honor our parents.
Yes,
so I
we
love
do.
my parents. I'm one of 8 children, so I love my parents, and they raised all 8 of us, and we all graduated from college and multiple degrees and all that stuff. So I had to give something back to them. So that's why I started the publishing.
So they did all right.
They did
all right.
okay. They did
all
okay. They smiling.
Right. So Matt, tell us Saturday, August 24th. We are excited to be a sponsor, but tell the people just what they can expect at the 5K.
Well, one thing is that I think it's historic because we're going to have 1,000 people walking down King Drive. That's not
1,000 people?
1,000 who's not beating the drums and shouting at the police. These people are going to be talking to one another, loving on each other. And we're going to be a happy family walking down from or I should say up from Pfizer Forum to North Avenue. Okay. And then we'll turn around and come back to Pfizer Forum. And that's where everything's going to be when it comes to all the other activations.
So Don and I were in here talking about what we do for like our mental health, and we were talking about taking walks. Can we walk at our own pace?
You can walk at your own pace. You just that they're gonna start closing up the streets on you.
Listen, that's why I don't do marathons, because they'll be like, ma'am, you have
man,
6
you gotta
hours.
hurry up. We gotta close. We gotta move these barricades, ma'am. You gotta. So you're gonna have to at least make the barricades.
But you can walk, you can run, you can roll.
I encourage you to walk and talk to your neighbor.
Okay.
Because that's really the main reason we're doing this. It's not so much a walk. There's a lot of walks out here, runs, but I'm doing it to bring people together, use it as a tool to be able to reach out to partners who want to reach our audience, as well as our audience getting that information and exercise and all those things that's going to create a better lifestyle for those families.
So the walk is for everybody.
Yes.
What time does the walk start?
The walk actually starts at 9, but registration starts at 8. We want to make sure that the women encourage those men to come out.
We have to do everything.
Of course you do.
Yes,
of course you do. I know that. The women have to encourage those men to come out, and we honoring the men.
Mm-hmm.
The men, it's a men's walk, so we honoring the men. But however, we're honoring family, and we want the family to honor the men because those men are crucial to those families, as well as any man that is in your life. You should bring them as well to celebrate them.
Will there be resources? So will you have vendors sharing our resources?
We're going to have one major vendor, and you guys are sitting right here.
Outreach Community Health Center.
Shout out to community. Yes, but there'll be a number of other vendors who can get information. They'll be doing screenings. They'll give you not so much pamphlets, but a way to get access information, as well as other important healthcare information, which is crucial for this community.
I will shout out a couple other sponsors that you do have. And again, it is a community effort to keep us all healthy. So you have the Milwaukee Office of Health and Wellness, Milwaukee County Office of Equity, Medical College of Wisconsin, Varsity Blood Center of Wisconsin, Molina Healthcare. You have us Outreach, Walnut Way, U.S. Bank, Men Making Progress, Visit Milwaukee, Associated Bank, State Farm Insurance, the Spring Burgess Agency,
yeah.
King Drive Bid, and Pete's Food Market. So it's going to be a time.
Oh yeah, we just added Ascension too.
Okay, come on, Ascension. We love Ascension. We mentioned that earlier.
So it's important to have all these health people involved because they're trying to reach the audience too. So we want to make sure it's right. And I can't do it nowhere. No way I can do this without those partners because those things cost money,
right? And we were talking earlier. Don is the money man, so he will make sure that things get funded.
He know it costs money. He know they cost money. No,
and he has a very nice way of getting that cash.
Yes, he does.
Very nice.
So that's it. So we want to make sure there's basketball activation. There's a mental health tent where we're going to do yoga. The first 80 people to come is going to get a free yoga mat. So let
me write this down.
Doing a number of prizes. Someone State Farm is going to provide a Ring doorbell for someone. We have Armor All kits for the men. We have there's so many
because it's summertime.
Yes,
you got to wipe that car down.
So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. You'll be able to win a lot of things. Plus, you'll have samples with fruits and vegetables. We'll have an energy station. We'll have a DJ. We'll have all that's going to be going on for about until 11:30, 12 o'clock.
11:30. Okay. Yeah. So, Matt, tell me this. I'm listening to the radio. I want to be a part of the run walk. How do I get down with the program?
MKE5K.com.
And is there a fee?
There is a fee. There's $25 for everyone. And there's, anyone under 12. As long as they're not getting a bag, they can come and walk too.
Okay, so bring the babies.
Bring the babies.
Bring the baby. We talked about a lot of health and wellness is what we're showing our families. Yes. So showing up to show the babies. This is how you take care of yourself.
Bring the babies, but any adults that have to pay. But it's a matter of being able to come together and have families. And this is our seventh year. We started in 2014. We took a break for COVID. But we've been doing this for a while. So we're looking to expand it and make it better even next year. We're planning for next year right now.
Okay, listen. So the run is for the men, but can I just put a plug in for the ladies? The men are going to be there on Saturday.
Well, the ladies should come looking cute in their best outfit.
Because the men are going to be there Saturday, August 24th.
Yeah, the men's going to be there.
And that's what we want. Give us the website again.
Website is MKE5K.com.
Okay.
mke5k.com, and you can register there. You can get information. You can ask the frequently asked questions button, and
Okay.
it'll tell you all where you can park, all that stuff.
Tell me about your co-chairs for this year.
Our co-chairs, we have two. We have the two main guys who are running the city is David Crawley, county exec, and we have Capitol Johnson, obviously the mayor, and they're both are supporting this event because one of the essence of Milwaukee is that we have a lot of people who are really under the poverty line, and they need information as well as everyone else. So the city is taking upon themselves, city and county is taking upon themselves to make sure they have an outlet to be able to reach these people. And the best source when it comes to marketing, the best source of everything is to be able to have hands-on with your customers and your clients so they can have an experience with your product and your brand.
So what's next up for Men's Health? How are you continuing to engage to have healthy men in the city?
Well, after the walk, some of the proceeds from the walk is going to go back to a couple of men organizations.
Okay.
And so we're going to instill some dollars into those organizations, as well as we're creating a nutrition program that's going to allow men and families to be able to get fruits and vegetables at a decent price.
Okay.
And then encourage them to make their smoothies and stay along those lines because we need our health. And then I should say this. One of the things that we really want to advocate is that you can't love anyone until you love yourself.
Come on now.
So once you love yourself, I'll be giving you some scriptures now.
Yeah, come on now, Brother Johnson.
Psalms 37:23. That's what we are making this thing happen. So I ain't gonna tell nobody. They had to go look it up. But Psalms 37:23, you know. So we're doing that, but we have to have some spiritual guidance too. So we are moving away from God. We need to get back, and we also need to be able to love on our families.
So it sounds okay. So when are you announcing your run for public office?
You're right.
Is that right?
You know what? I've been doing this for so long. It's just natural. No, I'm staying right where I am. Yes. I want to work with you, lovely people.
Well, we love it. Well, listen, Milwaukee, thank you so very much for joining us this morning. We hope to continue Community Heartbeat the last Friday of every month. Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers, is not just a show. It's a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. I am your host, Ebony Solly. Thank you to Don Cohen for joining. Thank you to Matthew Johnson for joining today. We hope these resources have provided some knowledge for you. We can't wait to see you next month and can't wait to see you at the health fair on Saturday, July 27th. Thank you much for listening. Have a wonderful weekend.